Do you know what the most overlooked coverage on your North Carolina car insurance policy is today? It's your uninsured, underinsured motorist coverage. It's an afterthought. It's rarely discussed, and it's the coverage that can be the difference between you being made whole and financial ruin. I'm sure that you are part of the 87% of drivers that have car insurance. In fact, you probably have great insurance. You have collision coverage, you have comprehensive coverage, or other than collision coverage. You have towing and labor, you have extended transportation or rental reimbursement coverage. You have repair replace coverage, and you have uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage. But here's the reality. According to a study by the Insurance Research Council, 13% of drivers don't have insurance. They are uninsured motorist drivers. They are the ones that you need to worry about. They are the ones that make uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage something that we have to buy. The study shows that in North Carolina, the number of uninsured drivers is between 9 and 11%. So we'll call it 10% for simplicity's sake. Think about that for a moment. Think about the fact that there are 1 out of 10 cars on the road driving around without car insurance. Think about how many cars are on the road when you drive to work, when you drive your kids to school, pick them up from soccer practice, go to dinner on a Saturday night. 10% goes from being a small number to a much larger number in the blink of an eye. What is uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage? Let's first take a look at the formal definition of each one, and then we'll look at what it really means to you. Uninsured motorist coverage, according to IRMI, is coverage for bodily injury and in some states, property damage incurred by an insured when an accident is caused by a motorist who is not insured. This coverage allows an insured to collect from his or her insurer as if it provided liability coverage for the negligent third party. Underinsured motorist coverage, according to IRMI, is coverage for bodily injury and in some states property damage incurred by an insured when an accident is caused by a motorist who is not sufficiently insured. Depending on the jurisdiction, UIM coverage may be written with limits trigger or a damages trigger. With the limits trigger, UIM coverage applies when the limits of liability carried by the other motorist are lower than the UIM limits carried by the insured. With the damage trigger, UIM coverage applies when the insured's damages are more than the at-fault party's available limit. What does uninsured motorist really mean? Uninsured motorist coverage means you were injured in an accident and/or your vehicle is damaged by another driver who doesn't have insurance. The caveat to know here is that you have to be able to prove to the insurance company that the other driver doesn't have any insurance. Where this becomes extremely important is in a hit and run situation or what I call phantom damage. What does underinsured motorist coverage really mean? Underinsured motorist coverage means you are injured in an accident and/or your vehicle is damaged in an accident by another driver who doesn't have enough insurance. FYI, in the state of North Carolina, our minimum limits of liability are bodily injury, $30,000 per person, $60,000 per accident, and property damage, $25,000. With this coverage, we don't have the caveat of proving that the other driver does have insurance because we know that they do. What we do know is that they had low limits of liability and it's not enough to cover your medical bills and/or repair your vehicle. What are the parts of uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage? There are 2 parts to this coverage. First, we have bodily injury coverage, and the second is property damage coverage. Uninsured, underinsured bodily injury coverage, there to protect you when you sustain injuries from an accident by either a driver without any insurance or enough insurance to cover your medical bills. Uninsured and underinsured property damage coverage pays to repair your car when it's damaged by either a driver without any insurance or enough insurance. Typically, this coverage includes a $100 deductible. How much uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage do you need? This is a great question, and is a conversation that you really need to have with your independent insurance agent. What I would recommend is the following amount of coverages. Bodily injury, $250,000 per person and $500,000 per accident. Property damage, $100,000. Many insurance companies are beginning to offer this coverage as an add-on to your umbrella policy. The most I've seen available is $1 million, and if you're able to add it to your umbrella policy, I would highly recommend it. So what's next to do about uninsured and underinsured motorist coverage? The next step is to talk to your independent insurance agent about this. I'd love to be the trusted insurance advisor that reviews the coverage with you. So click right here to schedule a call with me to see what you may be covered for and where there may be gaps in your coverage if something like this were to ever happen to you. Thanks so much. Have a great day. What does underinsured coverage? So click